All right, what's up? We are live. Hope everybody is doing good. Of course, the big stories today, two that I covered in the video, one of which being Dale Jr.'s got the new deal with Amazon and TNT or Warner Brothers, whatever you want to call them there. And he's going to be making also content with his Dirty Mo Media uh, company or whatever you want to call it, media company you want to call or whatever you want to call it. So he'll be doing that for Bleacher Report. He said also he thinks Amazon will probably be interested in some of the projects that they are working on as well. So you'll probably, even though he's only going to be working basically June and July, I think is what he said as far as calling races in 2025, you'll probably see more of him because he's going to be doing all that stuff as well. And of course, the bigger one being that Stewart-Haas Racing has announced to, I guess, teams and whatnot that, hey, you know what, we will sell the charters for this price if you give us this, and this, which has led to all kinds of rampant speculation. Basically, anybody that needs a charter, possibly there could be an arrangement where Front Row Motorsports jumps in and partners with them to get some office space. So just all kinds of moving parts. Anybody looking for a charter is trying to get a charter from Stewart-Haas Racing. And also, if they do sell one charter or two charters or however it plays out, how would that affect their current lineup? Would they keep Noah Gragson? Would they keep Josh Berry? Would they keep Chase Briscoe? Would they keep Ryan Preece? Which guy are you going to keep in a situation like that? In fact, that is the poll question. If you're SHR, who is the driver that you keep regardless of how far you downsize? Right now, Noah Gragson winning it at 58% with 19 votes in so far, 16% for Preece and Briscoe, and Josh Berry at 11%. Each one of those drivers, of course, bringing a different level of sponsorship and things like that to the table too. So I'll factor that in probably if you're looking at it from the Stewart-Haas perspective. And the thing that I didn't cover today in the video that I wanted to cover on the live stream is that Hyundai is looking at coming into the NASCAR Cup Series. This article from Fred Smith. For the past 50 years, NASCAR has required Cup Series competitors to source all of their horsepower from a naturally aspirated 358 cubic inch, 5.8 liter V8. If a new manufacturer joins, a report from the Sports Business Journal suggests that it could finally change with the addition of hybrid power as early as 2026. Now, of course, we're already supposed to have the hybrid power. So that's already built into the new car, right? That should already be here. We already should have had that particular technology in the Cup Series, but we don't have it yet. I think it was supposed to be also part of the Garage 56 entry, but that is behind schedule as far as that goes. But that is going to be contingent into possibly these other manufacturers coming in. Let's continue with the article here. The addition of the hybrids could be part of a plan to bring in a new manufacturer, something NASCAR has publicly courted for over a decade. Honda and Hyundai are also are often mentioned as likely candidates and are again mentioned in the Sports Business Journal report, joining Dodge on the list of manufacturers that have reportedly considered joining Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet in NASCAR over the past few years. Massive initial investment in technology, mostly irrelevant to road cars, makes the series is currently a tough selling is currently a tough story telling sell for some new OEMs, but hybrid integration would sweeten the opportunity. I think there's a typo in there. I'm not that bad at reading, but yeah, so that's been holding them back, according to this article, to getting these new manufacturers in. So maybe this hybrid deal will possibly encourage new manufacturers to come into the sport. And it continues in this last part I'm going to read before I jump into the comments. NASCAR would join Formula One, IndyCar, and sports car racing in embracing hybrid powertrains. Notably, NASCAR owns IMSA, which embraced the technology in one form of a spec hybrid system, made it to unique engines as part of its new for 2023 LMDH rule set. It signed 3 new manufacturers within the next 2 seasons. NASCAR could use the lessons learned from the development of those cars to hasten integration of a spec hybrid system, which would help the series solve some of the issues faced by IndyCar in their delayed switch to hybrid power. So there you go. NASCAR does own IMSA, just to be clear on that. So NASCAR could basically just use the formula that they've already got in IMSA, So then you could build engines for IMSA. You could also build them for NASCAR. So that would obviously, if you can come into two series with the same set of engine rules, it would sort of be like how they do it in late model. There's one set of late model rules for your engines, and it's pretty much universal at this point. It took them forever to get there for the universal thing, but it would encourage manufacturers to invest in that technology because they would then be in two racing series. So there you go. And I think 100% that's what they're going to do, because I think eventually NASCAR and IMSA is going to be fully integrated as basically one entity. Not that they will necessarily be on the track, but business-wise, they will be fully integrated as one entity. I think that's something that NASCAR is working on behind the scenes, but we will see. A lot of speculations, but that was the big story I didn't cover. I might make a video. I might just use this clip. Let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. OJ and Toothpaste saying 5. Good evening. What's up, Danny Alex and One Wise Guy? I got my internet back. Lightning took out the router, and I think I got the Dish Network hopper to find out tomorrow. Hope it didn't get the TV TV too, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, hopefully it didn't take out all of your stuff. Mark Barnum had a lightning strike that took out some of his equipment. He was talking about on the Discord. So hopefully that all gets sorted out. How many times have you watched The Last Lap, says OJ and Toothpaste? I've only watched it the one time live, and then I watched I've seen the photos or whatever, but I've actually not gone back and rewatched the replay. To be totally honest with you, just been super busy. Not lack of wanting to see it, but been super busy, just working on race cars and doing other stuff to make money to pay the bills. I'd like to see Lost Speedways brought back, says One Wise Guy. It might be. I think that is something, or something similar to it, that he probably is thinking about bringing back, talking about Dale Jr. and his new TV deal. I'm surprised RFK wasn't mentioned as a team that wants to expand. I am too, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. Maybe they want to stay as a two-car team. Maybe they want to expand. I don't know, but they seem to be another one that never gets mentioned. They're right there with RCR. I feel like both of them could be wild cards in it as well. Hi, fellas and ladies. Yo-Yo BB says, Roofer, what's up, Roofer? Mark Barnum saying, what's up to Roofer? Tom Charles, what's up? I'm more curious about McDowell and could happen with him if there is a merger. Yeah, that was the interesting part, like that he's thinking about maybe going to Spire or somewhere like that, which could play into these rumors about Honda and whatnot, right? Him going to Spire on paper doesn't really make any sense right now, because Front Row, to me, I think is a better team. But if Spire is going to be like your number one Honda or Hyundai team, it would make sense to go over there in that situation, because then you're getting level one equipment. So I think it makes sense from that perspective. So yeah, Michael McDowell, he becomes very interesting as far as the silly season goes. I agree with you 100%. Let's see. Seems like SHR should align with Chevy. Keep Barry and Gregson, sending Priest to the 21 and Briscoe to RFK or Rick Ware Racing. So yeah, I think 3 of their guys are under contract. I know Ryan Priest's contract runs out. I need to check J-Ski on that one, but I think Ryan Priest is the only one whose contract is up at the end of the year. I think the rest of them have multi-year deals. So if they did whatever they do, if they keep 3, they would probably. I'm thinking they're only going to sell 1 charter. The only way they probably sell 2 charters is if Front Row comes in and partners with them. So I think it's, to me, in my opinion, it's only going to be 1 driver out, and all signs point to Priest with his contract running out. McDowell has like 6 kids. He can't stop driving for 20 years. LOL, says Mark Barnum. F1 ABC beat NASCAR in the FS1 in the ratings. So yeah, one was on cable, one was on regular TV. And I'm not a F1 hater. I'm not buying into that whole competition aspect of it. So I actually think it's a good thing for F1 that they actually got that many viewers. So good for them. And NASCAR being rain delayed and on cable probably hurt it. But good for F1 for finally breaking that streak of NASCAR beating them and getting that many viewers. So good for them, man. I'm not buying into this narrative of one's better than the other. I think we should celebrate all motorsports as being successful. Earth 2 is simple. Each team can have 8 charters. Rick Ware Racing has the most cup teams with 8 for sure. Multiple champion Rick Ware on Earth 2, by the way. BB, did Jimmy get ran over, or did he break too soon and LaJoy had nowhere to go? Well, LaJoy was right behind him. So if he checked up at all, that's got to be on Jimmy, in my opinion. If you check up at all, you got to realize that's on you, because you had a guy basically on your bumper when that happened. It's a racing deal at the end of the day. I didn't understand the beef, and probably they're both over it today, but who knows? Earth 2, Hendrick is still floundering at the back of the field. Hendrick and Joe Gibbs Racing as the premier Daewoo team. So if Hendrick is Daewoo, who would Joe Gibbs Racing be? Would they be Fiat? I mean, or would they be I don't know, Yugo maybe, Yugo or Fiat maybe. With TV deals continuing to change over time, NASCAR should be more open negotiations. I understand why they want to control the charters, but TV deals should be completely open. I don't necessarily disagree with that. And I don't think owning a charter should be dependent on the TV deal. Like, you own the charter, that's like owning a franchise in another sport. That's the way they need to position it. And then the agreements are worked out every single year as to or every single TV contract is worked out individually as to what percentage you get from it in your collective bargaining and all that good stuff. So that they're making it way harder than it has to be, in my opinion. NASCAR's this could all be over with if NASCAR would just be like, all right, you own the charters. The charters are always going to be a part of it, and that's the end of it. Question of the night: will Natalie Decker be putting out a video of her new sponsor, Bikini Zone Shave Cream, in action? LOL, says Mark Bonham. I have no idea. Natalie Decker does Natalie Decker, but you never know. She's kind of a wild card as far as that goes. She already has print ads, or not print ads, but the photo ads, I should say, are already up. You have become president of NASCAR. What's the first thing you're doing? Instituting a point system that makes sense for everybody involved. The second thing would be to either completely take the charters away or to make the charters permanent. Go one way or the other with it, but you can't keep dancing and sitting on the fence with it. BB, what's your reaction to that video I shared on Discord when Bill Weber said green flag and they had to stop the race because the pace truck was still on the track? Yeah, that was one of the biggest oofs of all time. That was NASCAR being NASCAR at its finest. Back in the day, of course, there were still safety trucks on the track, and NASCAR threw the green flag is what he's referring to. The Dirty Mo content for Bleacher Report could just be the download, says Napa Racing Fan, or it could be door bumper clear. You never know. You never know how they're going to play that. I don't think even Junior knows what they're going to do just yet, but they are going to make an announcement here. He said in about 2 weeks, so I'm thinking probably around the All-Star break. That's why he's not going to race his cars at the All-Star. What's up, BB and A-Hole, says T-Van. Mark Barnum saying, what's up to T-Van? The driver is most on the hot seat to lose a ride, performance-wise, would be the 21 car. 21 and the 7 car probably would have to be on the list of hot seats. The 41 car, I would have to add to that, would have to be on the list of hot seats. None of those drivers have had the seasons that they wanted to have. You could say that probably for the last 2 or 3 years. So as much as I like all of those drivers, to be totally honest with you, just the results are not there. Looking at F1 and NASCAR ratings this week, can we have NASCAR back on Fox 1? I don't care about the United Football League. I don't think a lot of people care about it, but that's what Fox wants to push right now. And whatever Fox is going to push on free TV, that's what you got to deal with. So cable, they're basically putting the stuff that you want to see on cable so that you have to buy cable. That's basically the game that they're playing. Okay, if Honda or Hyundai comes in, who would swap manufacturers, Trackhouse or SHR? I think Trackhouse would have to be on there. SHR, I think, is switching manufacturers regardless, whether it's Chevy, Toyota, or whoever. I think SHR is switching manufacturers anyway, but Trackhouse would have to be on that list. Then you could throw Colleague and Spire in there as well. I think they would be on the list. Front row, I think they're always they've got their ear open to an opportunity. So that's what I'm saying. And the way that everybody has come out recently and said that this silly season is going to be the craziest one of all time, I think all of that's on the table from how many people have come out and said something about that that are in the know. So I think all of it's on the table. You could see Stewart-Haas Racing and Trackhouse go to Honda and maybe bring Spire or Colleague with him, or Front Row Motorsports if they do the deal thing with SHR, all kinds of movement. So there's just no telling. You could see Michael McDowell go, like Michael McDowell could be driving for Hyundai, Inspire, and let's just say Honda. Let's just say Trackhouse goes Honda. Stewart-Haas Racing goes Hyundai, is it Hyundai? Or whatever, and then you could have Michael McDowell as one of the main Honda drivers, and then you would have Noah Gragson as the face of Hyundai. So all kinds of moving parts if they depending on who Stewart-Haas keeps too, right? So it just depends. Howdy from the Great White North. Dotson would be Gibbs, says one wise guy. Howdy from the Great White North. It's no fair. Larson should be handicapped. He should have to start at the back of the field every race to make it more challenging, says Robin Marks. He is definitely good, no doubt. What's up, Robin, says Mark Barnum. And what's up, Canada, as well. Dale Jr. to Amazon and TNT. What do you think, BB? I knew something was brewing. Oh yeah, he even said on his show that this is probably one of the worst kept secrets. And then the guys in the studio said Josh Berry to Stewart-Haas Racing was probably a worst kept secret. So yeah, they can't hold their water over there at Dirty Mo. That's for sure. Hey BB, what's your take on the possibility of the NFL adding an extra game to the regular season and an extra bye week, which would put the Super Bowl and Daytona 500 on the same date? NASCAR will just have to move the Daytona 500. That's pretty much all there is to it. There's no debating it or anything like that. Do not run them on the same day. That's insane. Just move the Daytona 500 to the week after the Super Bowl and adjust your schedule from there. NASCAR just has to run, 1 week longer or whatever. Or there will be one not 1 week longer, but there will be one. It'll go 1 week deeper because you just got to miss the Super Bowl. Howdy, y'all. Says Robin Marks. Denny said on his podcast, this may be the last throwback weekend. Some teams don't throw back, says an Napa Racing fan. Might be. Has it run its course? I don't know. I think you could do it like the Olympics once every 4 years or do it every other year. We'll have to see. They will never have the Daytona 500 during the Super Bowl. That would be freaking dumb, says OJ and Toothpaste. I agree. It's just so culturally big. The Super Bowl, people that don't even care about football watch the Super Bowl. So it's just one of those things. With Byron and Larson dueling for wins, who will be the top dog at the end of the season? That's a good question. Stay tuned. I don't know. They're both having really good seasons right now. Byron has the one race advantage on him, so I don't know how that would work. But I would say just going to have to wait to see to the end of the season. It's a miracle Verstappen lost. Norris winning the first Grand Prix probably helped F1's overall rating. That and the fact that NASCAR was in rain delay while that was happening. There's all kinds of things that factored into it. But that being said, I'm not going to take anything away from F1, man. Good for them. I don't understand this narrative of if you're a NASCAR fan, you have to hate F1. If you like F1, you have to hate NASCAR. That's stupid. That's ignorant thinking. That's the dumbest possible. You don't have to hate something just because you like something else. It's I don't know. I never got the whole F1 versus NASCAR beef. It's pretty much the dumbest thing of all time, perpetrated by people that just don't think. If you like F1 and you don't like NASCAR, why are you even thinking about NASCAR? It's crazy that this thing's even a beef. It is what it is, though. The media is going to brainwash people into doing stuff like that. Daytona 500 because they like drama clicks. That's the only thing the mainstream media can do these days is get drama clicks. That's why you got 4 million shows with guys just arguing with each other over the most mundane things in sports. Daytona 500 before the Stupid Bowl would be fine. A whole day of pregame is stupid. It might be, but I just don't think it's going to work. And I don't think NASCAR is even going to try it. Front Stewart-Haas Racing coming in 2025. Mark Barnum saying, hey, B. Bumblebee saying, what's up, B. One wise guy saying, hey, as well. Hey, BB in chat says, Duke Chronic. What's up, Duke Chronic? I think Busher won that race. I'm sorry, says T-Van. Well, I presented several theories that you could go with on the last live stream. You could say that the photo was AI generated, obviously, because NASCAR wants Hendrick to win. Or you could say that NASCAR just pulled a picture to at a moment of their choosing to make it look like Hendrick won because they're favoring Hendrick. There's all kinds of ways you can go about it. NASCAR used a picture instead of scoring and timing because scoring and timing would have gave it to Busher. So any conspiracy theory you would like to use there, my friend, feel free to use it. I'm all here for stirring the pot. We're here for the lulz. Welcome to NASCAR Chan at Bologna Burger Studios. Got to give Fox props for a great broadcast. You can tell we do it for the lulz. For the props for a great broadcast, you can tell they are working on it. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it has been. That's all I can say about that. The commercials are still terrible, though. The 5 wins on Cinco de Mayo and the media missed it, says Duke Chronic. I'll include myself in that one. I didn't even think about it, but that was definitely really cool. I think it was just so crazy the way he won it that nobody was thinking about anything else except, daggum, that was a crazy race. I'm happy with a lot of the throwback schemes, says T-Van. I think they did the best job this year than they've done in a long time. Still waiting on that number 3 throwback, though. Or no, we don't. We've got it. He's doing the Bass Pro, ain't he? Yeah, the old gold Bass Pro. So I need to make a video on that because I was waiting on him, but he's already released it. We're still waiting on Kyle Busch, I think. So we need to see Kyle Busch's. That's the RCR car I was thinking about we're missing. I always watch the F1 tape or it on because it's on too early. Says, oh, the tape version, because it's on too early. Says Duke Chronic. Bowman needs to get his head out of the sand. He at least needs to consistently start finishing up front and leading laps. Yes, BB, we can both agree to disagree, but he's got to step it up. I'm just saying, look, who are you going to replace him with? Because where is he at in the points right now? Let's see. Well, he finished 7th last race. And where are the points at? In points, he's sucking it up in 9th place. So, I mean, people make a little bit too much about the Bowman deal. But if there is a better driver that you'd want to stick over there, I'd be open to hearing who you think's better than Alex Bowman. Because I'm not saying he's the best driver in the world, but you do have to replace him with somebody better. Who potentially on the upside of potential would you replace him with? I am curious to ask that question. NASCAR needs to go to Canuck Land before ever thinking Mexico due to the tensions in the South. All forms of racing is awesome, says one wise guy. I'm with you on that one. Only way Cinco de Mayo would have been brought up is if Suarez was winning, says NASCAR race fan. Yeah, so there you go. The Battle of Puebla is what Cinco de Mayo is all about. Let's see. I get the throwbacks, but one half don't look good anymore, says T-Van. F1 and Danica effect, LOL, says Mark Barnum. Tinfoil hat, anybody, says Vin Kluber. That's what we're here for. We will start fake rumors and get them trending. Let's see, merch and Discord links. The Miami GP was watched by more viewers than all 4 IndyCar races this year combined. Yikes, IndyCar will be on Fox in 2025. More cartoon drivers, here we come. I don't know that Fox would pick up IndyCar. That's a big assumption. IndyCar is a cold product right now. I hate to say it, and I hope somebody does pick them up. But I don't know if one of the major 3 networks would pick them up. You could see IndyCar go somewhere, pull like the MLS did, maybe go to Apple TV, or maybe they get picked up by HBO or something like that. Danica is one of the 2 most viewed conversations on Kenny Wallace. Who cares? But us sitting on the couch, I don't know nothing. Okay, Kenny, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, I don't even want to get into the Danica thing because she put out a quote, and you could tell that the quote was obviously for attention. So if she wants attention, I hope she gets it, but I'm not going to contribute to it. If scoring and timing had the 17 as the winner, where did the .001 come from? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Whatever you want to believe. It is what it is. NASCAR said the 5-car won, and it is what it is. My tinfoil hat is on, says like dislike. Chase Elliott, another top 5 on a mile and a half, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, Chase Elliott has turned it on since people wrote him off. He's now turned it on. I like to see a throwback of the singular car. I think that'd be a good one to throwback to as well. Jimmy Spencer to SHR. He's coming. Mr. Excitement's making a comeback. Are people still worried that Ford can't win? They're right there. Yeah, they're right there every week, but they seem to be cursed for whatever reason. Ford just can't get it across the finish line, even when they have faster cars some weeks. BB, where are the wins, though, for the 48? If they do replace him, I can see Hendrick trying to get Ryan Blaney, maybe long shot, or put Sammy Smith in. So let's see. Alex Bowman has 6 years, 6 full seasons. He's got 7 wins. Well, not even full seasons because he missed part of last year, but mostly full seasons, and he missed part of 2022 as well. So yeah, he's got 7 wins, 6 full seasons, and this season is ongoing. He had a 2nd at Daytona, a 4th at Bristol, a 4th at Coda, a 5th at Talladega. His worst finish season has been 27th. He has finished in the 37th at Texas, 27th at Atlanta. He's finished in the top 20 every other race, though. So I don't know. But Sammy Smith would be a good one. That's one with upside. Corey Heim would be in the mix, although Corey Heim is definitely fully entrenched in Toyota. Let's see. I think a throwback. Who was the other one? Ryan Blaney. I mean, yeah, if you can get Ryan Blaney, that's a different story. But are you going to be able to pull Ryan Blaney away from Penske? That's a big question. Are you going to be able to pull him away from Ford? He seems to like it over there at Ford. I think throwback ran off its course. Cup cars with numbers slid forward is the main reason why, in my opinion, says Chrome Diesel. Could be. Worst part of F1 was Danica. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that don't care for Danica being on the coverage there. I like that. Says OJ and Toothpaste. I put Allgaier in the 48. Mark Langren, what's up, my friend? Larson wins the 500. IndyCar viewing will be big. Oh yeah, that the IndyCar, the Indy 500 will be, well, obviously it's the Indy 500, but they might get the Kyle Larson bump because he's in there. You should be on the short list for guest panelist on the NWP. Look, if they want to do it, we're not going to chase the NWP thing. They do their deal. They know what they're doing. They're good guys. We will support them because I think it's a great show that they do every Wednesday. So check them out at 8 o'clock. Did the Moody stuff cool down? Says one wise guy. I'm not going to touch the Dave Moody stuff because he inserted his nose into a situation that I'm just because the two guys are friends that he inserted his nose into. So I'll talk about that at a different point. Even though they said they're cool with each other, I don't want to bring that back up and get more traction onto it. Not that I'm the biggest media person in the world, but I don't want to add any more pressure to that situation because I think him sticking his nose into it made it a lot worse than it actually was. So it is what it is. We'll talk about Dave Moody on another day. I hope they don't stop the throwback schemes. I love it, says OJ and Toothpaste. Thoughts on Roger suspending his race team in Indy? That was pretty big. Yeah, I mean, putting Tim Cindric in timeout is definitely really big. So Tim Cindric makes that thing hum. So it's one of those huge conflicts of interest that man, I don't know. Like, he owns the series. Should he be running a car in it? Or should he be running the team in it? But he's also up against it because if he doesn't own the series, who is going to make it good from his perspective? So I don't know. On Earth 2, I heard Norm Benning won Kansas by 9 laps. Just 9? More like 19, D. And that whole 4-car battle for the end was just merely for second place, says B, for sure. For sure. 48 is a good team, and most drivers would go there, would drive it like a Blaney or a Logano. A little bit of buffering tonight, says one wise guy. Nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, sorry you're having to deal with that. Roger may be having a loss of memory, says Mark Langren. Larson won. NASCAR made the call too quick to choose a certain photo or generate an AI one. There is a wire underneath the asphalt that coincides with transponders on the cars to declare a winner, says Shadow Ears. For sure. We're just starting fake conspiracy theories for the people that don't think Larson won. I think Larson won, just to be clear. We're starting fake conspiracy theories on purpose, just for the lulz. Wise guy, his Wi-Fi, so it was not AI generated, just to be very clear. Wise guy, his Wi-Fi is on that course tonight, says B. Dave Moody is one scumbag who trashes on anyone who has different opinions. Then Mama Smith being paid shill for NASCAR, defending the current format with NBA comparisons, says says Chrome Diesel. OJ says, laughing my butt off. If Kyle wins the 500, does Kevin Harvick start the 5 in the 600? Probably. Oh, well, I don't know. They would have to, in that situation, I don't know how they would have the seat. They'll probably have a different backup driver ready and waiting just in case. Skip the ad here. Let's see. LOLB says one wise guy. OJ and Toothpaste says the former president was in Miami. We're going to stay away from politics, but a lot of people are pointing to that, including Brett Griffin as being the reason that it got the bump there. I do like how, and I'm not saying the name because you know how YouTube is. I do like how the Daily Downforce promotes this channel. Yeah, much respect to the Daily Downforce. They do a great job, and everybody involved with it is just really great people, to be totally honest with you. Why did Tim Cindric get put in timeout? Because he was aware of the cheating, according to Roger Penske. So he suspended a bunch of people on his own team, as head also of IndyCar. So it's a bizarre situation. I can't believe Spinhouse signed a 3-year deal, says T-Van. They believe in him over there, man. JTG likes Slick Rick. Jinjo and Norm do a sitcom on Fox next season, says Mark Barnum. JTG is definitely a big sponsor lined up if Kroger leaves to sign Ricky Stenhouse, says OJ and Toothpaste, especially after sponsor concerns, says T-Van. I think they've got it figured out over there. I don't think they would have done all what they've done if they didn't have something lined up. Cindric runs Penske Racing, says Mark Langren. Yeah, especially on the Indy side. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty big what Roger did, but it's proven that he's going to I guess he's trying to show that he's going to do the right thing no matter, even if it is his own team. The way Kroger praised the forward numbers, narrowed down some assumptions that JTG were the mystery team who asked NASCAR to experiment with the new placement back in 2020. So all the owners had to agree on it. So and only one owner said that they didn't want it. It's never come out who that owner was. So according to what the media says, only one owner said don't move the numbers forward. So that's that. There's like a 99% chance that your owner said they were fine with moving them forward. Nice job of keeping the projects here. BB says, Ben Kluber, I appreciate you, my friend. The moment Austin Cindric realizes his job's not safe, says like dislike. Hey, there you go. You can work that angle. You can work that into the angle for the NASCAR angle. BB, what's the best Sierra Nevada Cosmic, Sierra Nevada Torpedo, or Sierra Hazy? I haven't had Hazy in a long time, but I remember Torpedo always being my favorite as far as that goes. Tim is the boss, so he gets the slap. For sure. Professional LOL says Ben Kluber. Is the Kansas finish the greatest of all time, or is Craven Busch at Darlington still number one due to no overtime and longer than 2 laps? I think, to me, even though it's a closer finish, I think Kansas is the closer finish, but I think the better finish is going to be Darlington because they were leaning on each other. They were bumping and banging. Kurt Busch didn't have power steering, so he was just running into him. I think that was actually a better finish because they were just completely out of control. Now, don't get me wrong. What Kyle Larson did to make the move and for the 17 car to race him clean, that was awesome too. But I think Darlington, to me, was the better finish from a visual perspective. JTG, can you say Andretti? Yeah, Andretti's in the background. I would say Andretti Spire is probably more of a chance there. BB, give us a percentage, a chance of that Larson wins Indy 500 this year. How many cars have they got? One in 38, or however many cars they got. 1 in 40. Jennifer Joe Cobb came out of retirement after Deegan left, says T-Van. Mark Langren going with Torpedo as well. Do you think NASCAR? Oh yeah, there is a poll question up. If you are Stewart-Haas, who do you keep regardless of the downsize? If Stewart-Haas downsizes, is it Josh Berry? Is it Chase Briscoe? Is it Noah Gragson? Is it Ryan Preece? 52% saying Noah Gragson would be the driver you keep right now. So Noah Gragson getting the love here from the BB fam here tonight. Craven versus Busch is number 1, says OJ and Toothpaste. Do you think NASCAR allow teams where they want to place the number rather than being uninformed? I think the only rule with it was when NASCAR put that up to a vote, they said we can't have some in the middle and some in the front. So there's never going to be a mix. And at the time, some people were putting them on the back in late model at least. So NASCAR just wants it uniform no matter what it is. And they did put it up to a vote. I do know that for sure. That's been reported several times. And the owners voted to move it forward. So it would be more room for sponsors. And they seem to be okay with it. Let's see. Craven is better, says Mark Langren, talking about the finish. Cartoon Network throwback car. I need it soon, says Mark. For sure. The Cartoon Network car, old Steve Grissom back in the day. That was a pretty tough car. Yeah, agreed with you, says OJ and Toothpaste. Kyle's pass on the outside in 3 and 4 was amazing. Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, you're splitting hairs. They're both really good finishes, but I'm always going to remember that one in Darlington. So that's just the way they were beating and banging on each other at the end was pretty amazing, and nobody wrecked, and they still won. Like the 3rd place car couldn't get past them either. Agreed. Duke Chronic says OJ and Toothpaste. Everybody on Twitter wants Kentucky back. What do you think? I think Kentucky being back should have been done a long time ago. And I want Chicagoland back as well. Dave Moody does not want Chicagoland back. Another horrible take by him. Somebody brought him up earlier. Everybody on Twitter wants Kentucky back. Oh yeah, wrong track. Bring back Chicagoland. I think we can bring them both back. To be honest with you, take one race from Richmond. Take one race from another track that has 2 races that doesn't have great attendance and low TV ratings. Hey, Baloney Burger and everyone out there, we had a great race on Sunday. Go Young Money, 3 in a row, says William Wagaman. Maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. 33 cars at Indy every year, I believe. Says Mark Barnes. So yeah, he's got a 1 in 33 chance of winning. Both Andretti's are going for multiple cars. They need something with money and personnel, says Mark Langren. Kentucky can be a one-off and replace Texas for a year when they hopefully reconfigure back to a normal 1.5 miles. Bring back Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak would be another good one. Pikes Peak was only ever the Xfinity Series, I think, though. I don't want to find the photo. I don't find the photo finish here impressive because it only happened thanks to green white checkers. It doesn't come close to 03 Darlington because it took a long green flag run to have that epic finish. Yeah, so the drama built. Like you didn't know the drama was coming. The drama had to build. So that also can play into it as well. BB, should NASCAR try and go back to Kentucky and Chicagoland until they fix the garbage short track package? I think the big thing, yes, they should. But the big thing is they need to fix the garbage short track package. NASCAR finish defense more impressive than the Atlanta finish this year. And that's what I'm saying. Like pick one of those two finishes this year, the 3 wide or the 2 wide, and then the 2 wide you had third and fourth right behind them. So splitting hairs as far as that goes. I guess I would go with this finish here this weekend as opposed to Atlanta because it was a closer finish, but they were both pretty similar. I wish I could have been a part of the Indy 800, says T-Van. Does Pikes Peak still exist? I don't know. I don't think they've torn it down. I just think it's in disrepair. Chicagoland is a copy of Kansas, correct? I don't know that any of them are a direct copy, but it's one of the cookie cutters. I'm not 100% sure about that off the top of my head. The Colorado market is untapped. They should go back to Pikes Peak. Kyle wins Indy. Kevin runs and wins in the 5 and comes out of retirement to replace Alex in the 48 for 2 years. I don't like Kentucky Speedway. I'd rather choose Chicagoland. Dave Moody is kind of delusional. It says OJ and Toothpaste, Road America. Says Mark Langren. So yeah, Road America is another one that a lot of people want back. What tracks would you give 2 races? Just Daytona and Talladega. Those would be the only 2 I gave 2 races to. Vikings Motorsports seems to be having Matt D drive for the rest of the season. Yeah, they did sign him for the rest of the season, except for the road courses and Darlington and the 2 Darlington races. The track still exists out there in Pikes Peak, says William Wagman. Might as well bring Xfinity cars to Cup like they did in 07. So yeah, they could do a mixed effort. Like that would definitely give the best results. I just don't think they're willing to do that, especially if they're thinking about bringing in a hybrid engine package. So I think that's actually the main reason why they won't get away from this particular car that they've built. They've got big plans for it, and they haven't even. They're several years behind on the hybrid package. We were supposed to be racing the hybrid package this year, if everybody remembers when they first announced all that stuff. Kansas was way better, and now they're saying as soon as 2026. Kansas was way better than the Atlanta finish, says OJ and Toothpaste. BB, do you believe in Brock Purdy, number 13? I think Brock Purdy is pretty good. Yeah, I don't have any problems with him as quarterback. Darlington may be more iconic. Kansas was more stunning, even with the overtime finish. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. One's a record, and one's just always going to be, to me, more memorable. Will Matty D last that long? Says Mark Langren. I'm sure he'll be fine. Do you think California will get a real race in 2026 besides Sonoma? I hope. I'm not going to say I think. I hope they get it done by 2026. So Hyundai is coming to NASCAR. Hyundai is coming to, I think it's called Hyundai. Hyundai is coming to NASCAR. Around here, we call it all kinds of things. You obviously hear my accent. So Hyundai, I think, is coming to NASCAR, according to the Sports Business Journal, I think. This is from Road and Track, and they are quoting the Sports Business Journal. According to the Sports Business Journal, Hyundai is thinking about it awful hard as long as we go to hybrids. Do you think California will get a real race by 2026? Besides Sonoma, I just answered that one. They need to take the trucks mainly to the short tracks like it used to be when it first started. Yeah, so that was the deal with the trucks back in the day. The truck series was only at short tracks. So that was their big selling point. I mean, run the Xfinity car in select races rather than the full season, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, but they won't do that. So let's think about it. If Honda and Hyundai come in, what engine would they use for the Xfinity Series cars? Because a hybrid engine would not fit into what is basically the late model frame. I'm thinking here. So notable entries for this week, because you would have to have that powertrain, and you would have to do too many things to configure that. So I think that's the main reason that they won't do that. One of many reasons. Notable entries for this week, and they would just talk about it's too expensive. That would be the one excuse that they actually gave you. Notable entries for this weekend. I don't know. I have not looked at the entry list this weekend. I know. Let's see. I've been more interested in the Darlington throwback scheme. So let me see. Let me see what Jayski has to say here. Entry list. Loading. Kaz Gralla, Derek Kraus are really the only two but they race just about every weekend. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, nothing. As far as the entry list goes for the Cup Series, nothing really special on. I don't see anybody sort of special. Eric Jones will be back. I guess that would be the main one. But yeah, in the 16 car is going to be Derek Kraus, and in the 15 car is going to be Kaz Gralla. But the rotation on the 16 has been sort of all year. So let's see here. I still see potential and talent. Matty D as a driver, he'll get back up there one day, I hope, says Douglas Serrano. Yeah, I mean, I think the politics are the main thing that hurt him. Like just whatever. Twitter went crazy because he said something about something political. I don't even remember what it is because I don't keep up with stuff like that because I really just don't care. Call it what you want. I will call it what I want. I worked on the startup of their U.S. facility, says Mark Langren. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how to pronounce it. I know it's Hyundai, whatever. It's not Honda. It's Hyundai. I have no idea how to pronounce it. SHR is in a very weird spot. Sponsors from all drivers. Barry's a rookie. Gregson kind of still a rookie. Briscoe kind of like SHR or his franchise driver. 14 and the 10 have run the best thus far, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah. And Josh Berry, it's his rookie year, so I don't know how you quantitate that either, but technically you can call this Noah Gregson's rookie year as well, because between him and Josh Berry, I want to say they basically run about the same amount of races last year, pretty close. If Hyundai would join like 26 or 27, they could use Xfinity cars temporarily for short tracks and road courses until the package is fixed, says Chrome Diesel. They could, but what engine? What engine would they use? Like if they're going to build a hybrid like engine or whatever, they would still like it wouldn't fit the transmission. It wouldn't bolt up to the transmission in the Xfinity series. So I don't know. Would they just run a General Motors engine or something like that? Like that's the only way around it. And then would they be okay with just slapping a badge on it? Like I don't know. Jeffrey Earnhardt just got a full-time ride, if anything, on Earth 2. Says Escobar. He's been at a full-time ride, multiple time champion Jeffrey Earnhardt on Earth 2. Throwbacks were better in the Southern 500. Now, sadly, the Southern 500 has become just a playoff opener. Regular season finale this year to NASCAR. Crown Jewel deserves better. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So, to those of you that want to get some road and track time, try SCCA Track Night. 4 20-minute sessions. Only need a helmet, says Mark Langren. I also say the same for Brandon Brown. Yeah, Brandon Brown, he didn't even say anything political until he was like basically pushed into a corner and tried to just go full force into it. He was just trying to get something going at that point. But yeah, he was victim of winning a race, unfortunately. Maybe if Larson's suspension never happened, would he be racing for Trackhouse or another team? Crystal ball, LOL. Hendrick had been trying to get Larson for a long time, so he probably ends up over there at some point. Let's see. Does he ever become as focused as he is right now? That's the real question. Like that whole deal focused him more than anything else. Hyundai, says Napa Racing fan. So Hyundai, we're going to go with Hyundai if I remember it for the rest of the show. What's up, Cassandra? What's up, North Idaho? What's up, North Idaho? Any other hobbies beside wrenching and racing? I don't have time for any of. I used to back in the day. I just don't have time for any of them right now. One wise guy saying, "What's up, Cassandra?" BB, do you think eggs should be yellow and lettuce should be green? Do you think bologna burgers should be brown? I think I shouldn't have posted this. I want Brandon Brown back, says T-Van. Yeah, I think Brandon Brown deserves another shot for sure. Like that's what happened to him is definitely unfortunate. Kansas finish was certainly an enigma. Same with Buscher's 5-wide pass in the middle, says Napa Racing fan. Yeah, the one thing this new car does is race good on mile and a halves. Another plate, the bastards at Chevy, stuffing Chevys and Porsches. do it all the time, says Mark Langren. Maybe bring throwbacks for points paying North Wilkesboro race in the future. Maybe. Ford might not have told Tony no. Ford might not have told Tony no when he was trying to get the Kyle deal. According to Tony Stewart, Ford told him no, and that's why they don't have him. So take that up with Tony Stewart. That's come out of his actual mouth that he was trying to sign Kyle Larson, and Ford put the kibosh on it. And after that, it's been all downhill with Tony Stewart and Ford. That's why I'm pretty sure when this deal runs up, he's going to another manufacturer, no matter who it is. How much do you think the schedule will shift/change next season? They're definitely going to shift it because of the Super Bowl if that becomes canon over there in the NFL. So that will definitely happen. Other than that, I couldn't tell you. I know baloney should not be gray. Yeah, you don't want gray baloney. Ford will tell Tony. Ford did tell Tony no for Larson, says Mark Langren. Hi, one wise guy, says Cassandra. Hey, baloney is jail baloney. Gray baloney is jail baloney, says one wise guy. Any chances Kansas can become the finale with a few double headers? The finale could be in October easily. Well, if you remember all the Kansas races, do they always have good finishes? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to go back and look at that. Ford should have said yes to Tony about Larson. My point is we use Xfinity cars for short term and Cup, then replace it back then typical Cup cars. You have to remember, looking at it from Ford's perspective, at that time in the country, everything was super politically correct. So that is why Ford did not want to sign Kyle Larson. So looking at it from Ford's perspective, as a major, massive company like that, you can't necessarily not know where they were coming from. But at the end of the day, with 2020 hindsight, of course, looking back on it, I think they would have taken the gamble if they knew all this would happen. My point is we use Xfinity cars in the short term for Cup, then replace it back when typical Cup cars, when new OEMs join. Let's be real, they're not joining until 2026 or 2027. I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point too. Do it until 2026. I got you. I got you. We were not seeing. We were making a similar argument. BB, I like the tie-dye shirt. I appreciate you, OJ and Toothpaste. Cassandra Keller saying, "What's up to Chrome? If Honda goes to a NASCAR, bye-bye IndyCar," says Mark Langren. That's what people are speculating. Chrome saying, "What's up to Cassandra Keller?" Brandon Brown was the victim of a gaslighting report. A repertoire, says Sonny V. I don't even know if it's that. It's just, for whatever reason, his name got associated with that, even though he had nothing to do with it. So it's just one of those things. Larson, it was like the perfect storm. Like, that'll never happen again. It was just the perfect storm. Like, if that song came out today, nobody would even listen to it. Like, the guy made the song about it and everything. So it is what it is. Larson has to easily be the greatest silly season pickup in Hendrick Motorsports history. I would say it's got to be up to maybe the biggest pickup ever. Do you expect Jones to be competitive? I mean, Kyle Busch to RCR has got to be up there too, though. Do you expect Jones to be competitive the rest of the season? I think so, especially at this track coming up. Cup car needs to be like 1980s big car and a small car, says Escobar. When I had season tickets at Kansas, the finishes were not that memorable with the old car, says Mark Barnum. I bought a pickle loaf earlier. I couldn't do bologna, says T-Van. Honda is leaving IndyCar. Will be a difficult hole for them to fill. Yeah, it's going to be one of those interesting deals if they leave. How do they do it? Hi, Mark, and hi, Cassandra. Say Mark and Cassandra. Let's see. I also heard the Cup Series going to Iowa for the first time finally. Yeah, they will make the make the Iowa trip this year. BB, would you buy a Harley and go on the Kyle Petty charity ride? I don't know about all that. Maybe I might do a segment of it, but not really my thing. I can't think if Hyundai was ever has ever built a V8 motor. I don't know. I don't know. Busch to RCR was where he was going to land, i.e., who will put up with him. Will Bestrick return for Amazon and TNT? That's the big question. Honda and Andretti are pretty close, right? Andretti is pretty close with a lot of manufacturers, including Volkswagen and other people. So it is what it is. You racing this weekend? We're going to try. We're putting a new car together, so we'll see. BB, would you buy a crotch rocket? Nah. I'm past that point in my life. So, yep, looks like we've reached the end of the chat. So I'll hang out here for a minute or two. And then we'll call it a night. Hybrid V8 likely will be smaller, like a 5.0 at least. Yeah, I'm thinking they definitely go with a smaller V8, or they might just go with a smaller displacement. You could make it a V6 or a 4-cylinder or whatever, and then you will have the hybrid element to it. I think it's just going to be a displacement. I don't think they'll even put a number of cylinders on it because that'll make it more interesting. Let's see. Hyundai could use a 5.0 when they made the Genesis sedan. I was thinking Genesis had V8s, but I couldn't remember. Then it became the Genesis G80. I think Genesis made a V8, says Sunny, which is their luxury brand. By the way, if you don't keep up with Hyundai or Hyundai, let's see. Favorite throwback scheme. I'm going to make a whole. I'm thinking about making a whole episode. Hopefully, I'll get it done. But I'm going to make a whole episode on the throwback schemes. I like the. I'll say for Xfinity Series, I like the Kyle Petty Hot Wheels throwback. I hate to see Priest got dumped. I kind of like him. It's not official, Bumstead. It's just a lot of speculation